Okay, and hello everyone. How are you all doing? I'm doing well. It's a little bit chilly, so I've kind of like got my dressing gown on below camera. So yeah, hopefully it's not too cold where you guys are. Yes. And good morning, Ben, Space, Maddie, Cupesta. Well, good afternoon, I guess. Corey, of course. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Hmm. Hello, Prince. Okay, yeah, no, it seems like you're all hit. So today kind of is gonna be a bit different to past streams. This is gonna be like a lot more showing how I personally do stuff within Novelcrafter, like my own personal workflow. So I'm kind of gonna like start off with the AI generated beats, take them, move with them, edit them, start generating the prose, kit bashing, kind of all that. Um, so there'll be a little bit of like talking at the beginning, but after that, it's going to be a lot of me kind of explaining my process where I can. So I would really appreciate it if you guys like ask questions throughout, like help, because some things will be very obvious to me as to like why I do them. But if there is anything in the slightest that you're unsure of how I've done it, or you want me to repeat it or show things, like let me know. If there's anything you want to see in the document that isn't already explicitly there, let me know. Kind of all that. Like it'll really help me kind of keep talking and explaining if I've got questions. And so that kind of like is the most useful way I think that we can do this. So this like lesson is kind of it's consolidating everything. It's taking the stuff that we've done in the past classes, so the beats live stream, the character creation, codexes, the codex testing that we did last week, all of that, and like plonking it together, and like we're actually going to write a chapter. Um, so I had hoped that because we'd got access to a differently moderated Claude that we'd be able to use that and try and like have a bit of a fight. But it looks like that's not the case. So we'll see what normal Claude can do. But my thoughts were this session to because I kit bash, that's kind of my general workflow. And I was thinking I would probably use Claude as one of them because I feel that gives nice cozy vibes. I was going to use my GPT fine tune, and then I was thinking of one of the model, probably one of the cheaper models, so that people can see how how you can work with the different models together to come up with the pros. So does anyone have anything they want to recommend? Like one of the kind of cheaper models they want to recommend to the group, and I'll try that as my third model. Joe is always typing. Okay, so yeah, so Claude, Kate tuned, something else. Let me open up in a new tab, open router, docs, and make sure there's no personal details showing. You being so slow. Okay, Auto models. One of the new ones, perhaps. Gemini, maybe? Yeah, Gemini. Let's have a look. 0.005 compared to... Okay, so it's 10 times cheaper. I wish they had a way of like searching from like newest to oldest. That would be very useful. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy to use Gemini if you guys want me to do that. Are there any other suggestions? If not, I could always try Capybara. But yeah, let me know. Bagel, I've heard it's quite good. We've got 2 votes for Gemini at the moment, so you can sort the list on the model browser. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so there's Capybara, which is free. S Toppy. Yeah, you know, if people are saying Gemini, let's go Gemini. Okay, 3 votes for Gemini. That's good enough for me, given that no other models have been mentioned. Okay, so got those there. Okay, yeah, so last time we were doing the Codex class. And kind of like as a TLDR, essentially provided you had like enough information in your codex, like more than like 3 words, well, you know, maybe more than 20 words, it didn't really matter as much as the model itself. Like the models had a bigger influence on how hammy, or kind of like how much the writing then used those points. So we found that let me go to the codex effect. I wish Notion had a button that you could like click there and then scroll through other things in the same file level. But yeah, so we found out that well, our overall thoughts were kind of just mainly that the 3 words didn't work, but like overall in the beats, we found that Mistral, 7B, and Toppy, kind of the lower context models, were a lot more like clumsy, whereas like the higher context models generally stuck to what we wanted. 3 beats in total. So particularly as things went on, whilst we got some summarizing, they were starting to have conversations that we really liked, and like adhesion to beats and kind of stuff. So we found, so like again, it's generally a matter of like the context window and kind of the parameters that the AI have been trained on seems to have a bigger impact than specifically how you lay out your codex, which I think is good news. It means people can just kind of lay it out in the way that feels most natural for them. But it's hard to kind of explain that when people ask. So yeah, basically, as long as there's enough information in it so that the AI doesn't repeat the same 3 words all the time, you're probably good to go. So yeah, so this session, we are going to have a wee look at the new extract feature, which is super duper exciting. We're going to consolidate the previous lessons, and I'm going to show my workflow when writing, like how I kind of use the beats that we generate from the AI in conjunction with the codex entries of the various characters and kind of all that stuff. And like we're going to bring it together and write an entire chapter. So my thoughts are, I'm going to do, because I want to kind of stay at the beginning of the story to kind of build things up, I'm going to do I think it's chapter 4, the protest scene. So it's going to involve quite a few characters to push the AI in that term. And also it is going to have conflict. And I'm going to try and have a physical altercation between 2 of the characters in this scene. We'll see how it goes, because obviously we've got the moderated Claude, not the unmoderated version. But I'm kind of interested to see how it works with that, and I think it'll be a good experiment for us all. So it's still cozy vibes, but you know, there's going to be a bit of a fight at the protest. So yeah, I've also included just here the motivations beat prompt that I made in 2 sessions ago, and the beats that GPT gave me. And then also the table of results from the Beats live stream of kind of rough thoughts on what we like, our opinions of it, because we kind of did a big kind of thing like that. So you can all access that there and kind of keep an eye on it. Then I've also pulled from the previous class, and I've filled in I've pulled in from the codex and just kind of like put in all the character bios. So we've got Maya, Alice, Sparky, and then we've got like some of the suspects, our murder victim, and then like some other characters. So like there's information, like a good paragraph on each character, but the protagonist and kind of like the more major players in the story have larger codex entries than like the backing dancers, as it were. Okay, new extract feature. So if you made beats and you don't want to have to copy and paste and reformat and remove the numbers and yada yada yada, or you want to update a character's bio without, or create a character without having it the window pop open and close, or you want to, and you've like got too small a computer to have the split screen, or you want to brainstorm some chapter outlines, then Extract can do it all. So I'm going to go through some of the previous chat threads I think that we've got and basically show you what it can extract. Okay, so let's go to chat. So this is an example, a GPT-4 Turbo. I used my scene beats from summary character motivations. So it includes motivations of the characters here and then the scene beats. So I could just copy all that and then manually move everything where I want it to go. I could save it as a snippet and do the same, or I can click extract. Now, the first thing we can do is extract all our scene beats. So you can delete some if you don't want them in, but it has them all, and what's more, it has them all formatted. Let's take a look. So I click copy. Actually, space, if you're here, it would be amazing if you could press escape and get off this. That's something that I always do and kind of forget that you can't actually escape. So, you know, feature request. If you go onto your right interface, and then you can click paste. And look, they're all there as scene beats already. So that's perfect for if you want to do, you know, you just want to copy and paste, then get started. Next. Let's get back onto the extract feature. You can extract codex entries. So say, so these would obviously just like character motivations, but say, say that you wanted to have like, it was a new character. So like at the moment, if you did this and saved the entries, it would replace the data, but you could like, I don't know, copy, delete, reset the character bio, and then add in the data, and it just kind of means you've got it all there, and then like the motivations for the scene. But if you have new characters, very easy to pop them in. And if say, okay, well obviously these aren't actually chapters, but you could do chapters with that. I will show you on a chat. Scroll down. Eats, cozy mystery analyze, family dinner. Okay, so here we have some chapters. So I could go on extract, chapters, and then you can see here all of the chapters are here that we've made on a previous class. And then you could just click add to outline, and it would add them all in, appended to the end of your current thing. I'm not going to do that because I don't have to delete 30 chapters, but you could. And it just kind of saves you a lot of time copying and pasting and all that good stuff. Game changer. Oh, Space replied. I actually did prevent escape for many reasons. When you were editing codex entries, oh yeah, no, I can understand you wouldn't want to lose data when pressing escape. But yeah, or even like if you're in the settings, and like you're with the AI vendors, it'd be great to be able to press escape and just get off that. Like just for the pop-ups rather than anything else. Like it's like pressing enter and it go and like, or like not having the shortcut for pressing enter in the chat but that obviously got fixed. Kind of a convenience thing rather than anything essential. But yes, so that is what for. Oh, okay. So escape enter does work. Huh. Okay, well that's, I mean that, to be honest, that was good enough for me for now. Yeah, escape enter. Okay. I could do escape enter. That works like well enough. I'll remember that eventually. Okay, consolidating thing. I have shown you the extract feature. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my... We're going to do, like, basically a big old kit bashing session. I'm going to take lots of different... because in our beats session, we generated beats for this scene. So I'm going to take all the different beats that we generated and kind of kit bash them into, like, an Uber beats for my chapter. So ask questions as we go along, because if like I start, like I forget to talk, you know, I'll try and explain what I'm doing as I go along. I know I also want to add a fight in this, which I don't think was mentioned in the original chapter summary, so therefore won't be mentioned in the beats, but I'm going to put it in. Or like, not a fight, but a physical altercation. I want there to kind of be a dramatic moment between Archie, one of the suspects, and Sebastian, who have this like physical altercation, so it kind of stays in everyone's kind of minds, and so it kind of draws him to being thought of as a bit of a suspect. That's my thought. Okay, so chat. So with this first one, I'm going to extract beats and put them the right interface, and I'll work out what I'm doing after that. So then I'm going to do... I'm going to do this. Right, I'm going to... Oh, okay, so this one was when we did the Bagel and Mistral Medium thingy, so I'm going to pin that. And also these beats are probably a little small for me, like, because there was 20 beats, so I might merge some of them together. Okay, so Maya arrives with Sparky, who eagerly greets the gathering crowd, pulling together familiar faces. Okay, well, I just one sarcastic chick. Kit bashing my nemesis is a text hoarding dragon, but I want to keep it even if it doesn't make sense in the story. Well, that's why you have snippets. Keep everything in your snippets, and that's like your little hoard. And then like your story is like the few like shiny pieces that you'll put in your museum. That's the front to your cave, and you get to keep all your shinies behind. I like that, Alice. I'm gonna say Maya helps Alice establish herself at the edge of the crowd where she can Okay, I'm going to move any mention of Archie to slightly later. Okay, okay, I like that. Sparky getting momentally distracted for a moment. They exchange greetings, discuss the situation with Lillian. I'm going to edit that myself. But exchange greetings and discuss with both women expressing their fears for further development in the area and how it may affect the future of Lillian's bookstore and Gwendolyn's family patisserie. So we've kind of got that human kind of Lillian has heard rumors about additional developments on the horizon. Okay, okay, so there was, I'm going to move this a little bit. I'm going to have here, so Sparky gets gets distracted by the peanut butter. Then does his happy dog dance. He tries to take the sandwich, but the small child that dropped it picks it back up. Sparky tries to engage with the children, but is pulled back from Maya, who apologizes to the parents. Okay, I like that. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to use that, but I'm just going to put those into one beat together just to trim down on... Like, a lot of these beats that GPT have given me, I kind of feel like could be combined. Okay, so they arrive, Sparky does his happy dog dance, they talk, there's a little bit of context about the fears of the villagers. I don't feel like I need either of those. Drawing the attention of the media. This is exacerbated. Where by? I'm just using the like standard spell checker that comes with Chrome. This is exacerbated by the arrival of Sebastian, who seems calm and unflappable in the midst of the chaos. So this is where I kind of want the conflict to kind of happen, is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to say that Archie draws Sebastian into a debate. However, when Sebastian makes a snide comment about Archie's pub, the Drunken Duck, Archie takes offense and a physical altercation begins. Archie gets a few good hits in before he is pulled off of Sebastian. Who looks worse for wear and has grass stains on his previously impeccable clothing. Okay, so then in response to that, Maya quickly Maya watches as. So I just want to include that so that they know it's through Maya's point of view. Because even though it says, even though the Cozy Mystery has it that she's the point of view for everything, I don't want it to kind of think something different. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, let's keep it all like, Maya watches. Yeah, okay, so Maya quickly moves this does she move to help Alice away? Quickly moves to Alice's side, but her granny seems unbothered by the incident and was actually cheering Archie on. Maya berates her granny, but Alice is unflappable, saying that Sebastian deserved it. Alice requests a drink. Maya sighs but agrees to go. Oh, I'm only on top chat. Live messages. Okay, that literally impacted nothing. I mean, if anyone has any thoughts about what I'm doing as well, like, or any ideas, let me know. That's fine. I won't be insulted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 B. Actually, no. Telling Sparky to stay by Alice's side. Show hints of the hinted discussion. Do not give clear indication on the subject matter. Okay, so you can see in here, actually, there isn't that many times that she was in line. As May waits in line, she overhears. And I'm going to have here. And who else is in this story? Who would be at the Nora? Station, and so she misses Malcolm has already stormed off. Oh, has already left. She won't have seen him storm off. She does not know if he has stormed off or not. Okay, Malcolm has already left. Okay, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beats. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna. Okay, so we've got the first. So that's the first set of kit bashing. I'm thinking this is the first big town gathering since the death of the postie. Oh, so this is before the postie has died. This is like the big kind of like it's the big town gathering where kind of we see why people want Sebastian. Why the like we kind of get a glimpse of the suspects. And kind of make it feel as if Sebastian is going to die, and then suddenly it isn't him who dies, and so it's kind of like setting the stage for that. Um, but good shout. So if we go into my chats, I had like there are many chats. That was Mr. Medium. So kind of at this point, I'm going to just kind of skim through, see if there are any other details that I want to include still. Okay, nope, that's fine. Don't need anything from there. These are all the things that we generated in previous sessions, so it's kind of nice to look back. Oh my god, I forgot about that. So freaking adorable. Oh, interesting how different AI, this is Bagel, have suggested the same banner signs. And that includes Scuffle. Okay, this is something Maya intervene, but I don't think she would necessarily intervene, like especially these like, you know, grown adults. And there's like there'll be police there, but she kind of uses that, she defends her, she like makes sure her ground's safe. Okay, that's fine. Gemini Bagel Toppy. Yep, nope, don't need anything from that. That was a oh, Ereborez was going like cray-ass on me, so ignore that. Claude. Oh, I like that. Okay. I'm gonna, how do I adapt that? Gwendolyn vents her fury over someone's attempt to drive the bakery into bankruptcy. She believes it is Sebastian, as he is the main contender to buy the manor. She was the first person interested in doing so. I kind of feel like Gwendolyn, or like my headcanon with this, Gwendolyn was wanting to make was wanting to make like, you know, like kind of have everyone she was like wanting like to kind of like have it as part stately home kind of museum and half kind of like a hotel, so people would stay in kind of like authentic rooms, and like they'd get their food, and they kind of would be a way of supporting the town. However, Sebastian or 2, anything with GPT 3.5. Okay. And then this was the other GPT-4. Okay, no, I'm happy with that. So we've, in kind of like last 20 minutes, we've gone from the basic beats to what I'm kind of vaguely happy with. I will probably combine things and like play around with them after. But so here are those beats, and then so in this first step, we've got the preliminary beats that I got from GPT-4, and then you can now see the beats that I've written. Oh, I suppose it's just shorthand. Why not? Let's keep that. But you can see that even though there's fewer beats, these all actually have more information in them. And so it's kind of like a lot more fleshed out. Let's have a look. How many words is all that? Okay, 500 words. So you can kind of also see the ratio of like how many words I've got compared to what the final word count will be, and that'll be interesting to see actually. What was I doing full width? Okay, so I'm gonna put that 524 words. Okay, so you can kind of see, like, even with the beats, how much kit bashing and kind of like editing I've done beyond what the AI gave me. Um, so now what I'm going to do is make a snippet. I'm going to call it kit bashing. I think this was chapter 4. Wait, family meal that. Yeah, I think this was kit bashing. In it. And then I'm going to just minimize this so I've kind of got as much real estate as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate the prose for Claude, Gemini, and my fine tune, and then keep my favorite of the 3 on the main page, and then put the other 2 into snippets, so that I can then kind of use them as bases for like to add in little bits to the chapter. I've not got a huge preference on, so if I go onto my prompts, I've kind of made a vague prompt for this. Let me just get rid of models I don't need. What were we doing? We're doing not Bagel, Gemini, Claude. Gemini. Oh yeah, all my fine tunes. I've probably just completely gone past it. Not under Google. Oh, is it? Google Gemini Pro. Okay, it was. Let's see what. 1.2, 0.8, 0.2. Okay. Up. So I had originally planned for Claude 2 beta, but I believe that's still, we've not got the tokens. Unless someone can tell me differently, actually. Like, but as far as I'm aware, then they've not got access to that. And then for my fine tune, instead of using the cozy prompt, I'm going to use my Kate 5.3. These are, I've been doing like a lot of experiments with Corey, like, you know, £100 worth of experiments with Corey on trying to kind of optimize a fine tune. So let me go on to, if we go on to mainly so I can like describe it like accurately and not give anyone the wrong thing. Prompt functions. So I'm going to paste this in for Martin. So wait, no, that's the wrong one. This is the article I meant to send you. So you can see that temperature is like how creative the model is. Top P sets a threshold for which words are running. So kind of like, because the AI is kind of like a super advanced like predictive text, I kind of think of it. That's not accurate, but that's kind of how I can try and understand it. It's like the probability of which word will come next, and it kind of just gets rid of the least obvious words. So it's only like the 90% most likely to appear will even be in contention. And then like the penalties kind of make it so that the more something is used, the less it will then come up in the future. One is based on the output that it's written, and one is based on the input that you've put in. I will also add that to, yeah, in case anyone's. So also when doing this, like, don't be afraid to just press retry. Like, if something doesn't give you the option you want straight away, just try it again. Like, yes, the prices can add up, and that is a genuine worry, especially like, you know, if you've got a really poor dollar exchange rate. However, if something really isn't working, just it's more worth. Oh, it's not worth the stress, kind of. Okay, let's go to write. So I'm gonna. So the way I tend to work is that I kitbash as I go along with each beat, rather than generating 3 full chapters and then going through, just to try and give. If I want the story to progress in a different way, it gives me a lot more control. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try Claude 2 beta. I believe it's gonna give me an error message. Yeah. So this is a common thing. Like, you often get the OpenAI API rate limit. It's OpenRouter, it's Claude. But that's just because I checked, I've got credit. This is just because they've reached their limit, I believe. So I'm just going to go close prompt, Claude 2, not the beta version. There shouldn't be any issues in this scene. Remember, stay close, you two. Bucky of an evil eager wolf. See, I'd have here that Alice has got like a little foldable chair that she's taken with her. Okay, this is like, it's fine for a start. Like, I've got no complaints in terms of like its actual like prose. Some of the descriptions are a little bit clunky and like on the nose, so like I have to edit things, but like, you know, it's fine. Like, there's absolutely, I've got no complaints like in terms of like I wouldn't want to redo it. Okay, Gemini. Oh, well, I mean, that's just like, this is like, oh, backstory. Wow, okay. That's not what happened either, so it's not read up enough. Protest and full. So I would get rid of those first 2 chapters immediately. Like, I wouldn't even include them in the kitbash. So this is like really just like some good concepts. However, this is kind of at the point where I'd be like, no, I'm going to refresh this. I'm not mad on it. It's just blocks of text. Like, I wanted kind of more action. Okay, immediately. this is so much better. It's brought in pictures, kind of, yeah, sure, I'll do a test with GPT-4. Okay, oh my god, this is already just had Sparky cause chaos, which, you know, that's fine. Not mad about that. Like, that's funny. 586. So this Gemini one, completely different. So you can see what I mean. Like, sometimes pressing refresh gives you a completely different kind of like thing from it, and that's, you know, kind of cool to see. How do I add another column? I just like, I do a, yeah. Okay, I'll do GPT-4 because Space has just requested that. Cozy. So for these settings, I believe I've just used the base settings, except for Claude where the temperature is 0.8, I think. Ugh, barely audible above the din. That's very GPT. Okay, it's invented some characters, but I mean that's fine. There's probably other people who work at the bookshop. Okay, this is now, it's like hallucinating. It's gone. Oh, and we have a thief now. Wow. It's really yeah. I mean, it's writing a story. It got nearest to the 900 words. But yeah, no, that's not given much. So it's there. It didn't stick to the beat. Okay, now we're gonna try Kate's fine tune at temperature 0.5. Oh, okay, pupper. That's a very Kateism. Okay, tightening chest. That's a bit GPT. Okay, again, there is definitely stuff that I can. I have no idea what the competition is. But you know, I can use this. I like this prose. Yeah, cages and puppers. Like I definitely noticed that when reading the stuff that my fine tune has written, it sounds like how I text. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing sometimes, but like when people talk, sounds just like when I talk, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should chill on that a little bit. But you know, it's fascinating, like how even through when I write formally, it comes up. You might have seen random words like this, like testament and stuff. In together they would preserve their beloved village, one peanut butter treat at a time. Okay, so I'm going to use Claude as my base, I think. So even if this is going to be like a 2,000 word chapter, so what? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So what? 7 times 400 is 2,800. So, I mean, to be honest, I only really need like 300 words from each section. Like, so it's fine for me to delete things. I'll add them in, you know, we can go. Like, cozies are usually fairly small. Like, so 2000 would be like the max really I'd want for a chapter. What other kind of hole do you have? Like they are, of course they're a slope. Bloody Claude. Some kind of sarcastic retort. As they drew nearer, May could make out pull towards a oh, what's that word when you like not a mock-up pop-up? That feels a bit clunky, but let's take this and then make it Kate. Yep, that looks much better. Wish I'd kept the original now, but that feels a bit more me. That has 2 L's in. Is that an American thing? Does woolen in America have 1 L? That feels bizarre, but sure. Please, someone correct me because that's weird. Swelling crowd, okay. So, like, I don't like this where she's, like, fretting too much at... Like, yeah, I also feel like she's... Maya isn't there to make sure that her gran stays healthy. She's there to make sure her gran doesn't cause any trouble. Because Alice is, like... You know, she was a 60s girl that, like, you know, probably did all that kind of stuff. Corey, just why? Why is that? Also, that's kind of annoying because in my prompt it does say British English, so it's obviously not picking up on everything, but... Okay. I'm putting, so in square brackets, like, as I'm doing these, like, kit bashings, I kind of, like, will put square bracket kind of notes to myself so that when I go with the next round, I know where to focus on grabbing bits from, or, you know, if I have to, I'll write them out by hand. Like, that doesn't bother me. I don't like any of that. I'm going to put this... Yep, I will show you. So space was like you can highlight them in color. So yeah, you can go on highlight and you can see there that they appear in the like side panel. The different colors. Although I'm going to make them all yellow. I think. Work on it. So you can see I got rid of, what, 300 words of what Claude had written. So you can kind of see how they end up. So, oh, for reference, so now we're on the set 3 kit bashing. So let me add... I mean, I like this, but I would probably use this in the next section. We'll get through. Oh my god. Together they will preserve their beloved village. Oh, Gemini. Oh. Yes, you could, like, for David, like, you could color coordinate them. You could have, like, if you want to rewrite things, you could have them in one color. Like, adding things in can be another. Like, it's a good way of kind of then, and then, like, if you go on, like, everything, if you had other chapters with those in, you could see them, so you could see where all your edits needed to be. Hmm. Okay, now I need to remind myself on who is Clarence. I think he's the guy that dies. Yes, he is the mailman that dies. Okay, I'm gonna have here, um Toby Green. Is it Toby? Yep, Toby. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write this one myself. And then I'll probably use AI to write this one. The Labrador's nose twitch said you can be petted by you, especially Granny. Oh, okay, so the make it Kate option is, so you know when I talked about fine tuning and I said there was two different types of fine tunes in the document, one that was beat to prose and the other was AI prose to kind of like ordinary, like, or to your own handwritten prose. So I kind of like had taken like 100 or whatever samples and so it kind of happened that way and been ran through. So yeah, it's a fine tune for my copy editing. May have flushed. Um, pressing. A 4-year-old don't balance out the my antics as a 4-year-old don't if seeing Jim tonight, it's your own fault. Um, she quickly increased her speed. As they neared the protest site. So you can see here that I just added in 100 words myself. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of the way that I've trained my make it Kate fine tune is kind of like teaching it the way I write, kind of. So I use like shorter sentences. I will often, like, I won't use like loads of GPT-isms because it has been trained to use them. And so by giving it training, extra additional training that doesn't use those terms, it's like, oh, okay, don't use that, use this. It's kind of like a way of doing. So if I go onto my prompts, you can see that Kate's cozy prompt, the instructions are really long. But for the Kate fine tune, it's just you or me write this stuff. And like all of that kind of instruction is kind of built into the model. Okay, so that shows me adding in stuff manually. Um, Maya finds Ruby and Nora Green. This is the point where I'm like, oh, is Toby not? Next, near to Toby and Nora Green. I want this to be quite short, so I might try the general purpose short prompt. I'll use Claude. So my general, to show you, the general purpose short prompt, I've basically changed it to be like, I'm going to change that to be like, right, 100 words based on the idea. So it's kind of just being like, do a tiny bit of writing. Hopefully it'll just kind of like condense it in and not overrun, because I literally just want them to begin talking. With, I always have to change it from everything to just the chapter again. Generate prose, general purpose short. Lord. Oh, this is taking its sweet time. Let's see if it does anything. The back button. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, I'll give that a go. Will that still save any changes you make to the prompts and stuff? Discard. Let's try that again. Yeah, Anthropic servers are like, whoa, what's going on, dude? Okay. And then I will also do a fine tune. That's better. I mean, it's not evening, but you know, that's fine. Hand painted slab. Fancy seeing you here. Thanks. Did you take one? Mm-hmm. Oh, you are. Payment for bringing it up. Payment for bringing it up. Okay, well, as long as you don't drink my drozzle when you bring it up. No. Thank! No. Okay, right then, that's fine. We don't care about the speaking. Okay. We're back up to 300 words. So you can see that I started off with 400 words. It all tore down. I tore it all down to about 100, and then I went straight back up to that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the scene prose, plop that in. So we're going to compare the AI prose versus the Kate edited. I guess I can just copy from here. So for all of you that are on there, I'd like to be brutal, like I'm not going to take offense, but look at the different AIs and how they've responded, and then kind of how my Kate bashed prose has ended up. And I kind of want to just like hear your thoughts on like the way things have been changed and that kind of stuff. I'd be interested to know kind of how you guys are, what you guys are taking from seeing me do this. Say you wanted to brainstorm something in it. So if you wanted to brainstorm something, you would have to. So what I would do is go actions, chat with scene, and then that would take you to a chat that you could then pin that has the context for the scene in for David. So David was asking like about brainstorming and kind of like setting up a chat with context. So actions menu, chat with scene. Oh, and then it's seen the new chat, so it also has the history of your chats with the scene. Okay, so while I'm waiting for your thoughts, basically, I can then go back to the first stage. Like, if anything's changing the beats, I will go back up, edit them down and stuff, and then keep going through the same process. I'm not going to include all of these into the document because I feel like it's just repetition at that point. However, I'm going to go through my workflow again so you can kind of see how it works. If you have any questions this time for, like, to clarify something that I did the first time, let me know. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the Claude and the Kate Tuned do kind of start more kind of in media res, whereas the Gemini kind of gives a bit more of a description-y. I would, yeah, I think that does make sense. And it's something that personally I prefer to start with action and then describe stuff going on. So, yeah, and especially because it's like I'm impressed because it's like the first chapter as well, like, or the first beat, so it's got nothing to kind of play from, or continue on from. Oh my god. Oh wow, okay, rude. No rudeness to the dog. Oh my god. I'm just going to delete the bit that I don't want, because there's no point in even putting it in the bashing. Oh, glad you're liking my fine-tune model, David. Well, you know, that 3.5 is very powerful once it actually gets trained. I wonder what it's going to be like when we get access to the new GPT 3.5 turbo fine-tuning. Hopefully at some point. GPT, OpenAI, if you're listening, give me the access. Let me fine-tune 4 or 3.5 new. Please. It would be very nice of you. Gemini. Yeah, I quite like this actually, because it's going to Gwendolyn, which she would be doing in the next beat anyway, and obviously, like, the AI didn't know that because it doesn't read after, but I feel like that would maybe... I'll read over it after, but I think it'll give a nice flow. Okay, now let's do my Kate 3.5 GPT fine-tuning. So this is temperature 0.5. I also have a 0.7, which I sometimes use if I just kind of want it to hallucinate a little more. But then GPT-isms do start coming back in. But sometimes I get more of what I want plot-wise. So it's a trade-off. Okay, this is immediately what I wanted. Kind of immediate action. Sparky cuts in, stops. You don't hear any more of the conversation. I'll probably have to do like a little bit of editing, but this is so much more what I wanted. Um, okay, well, I mean that logic of petting and then asking to pet doesn't work, but lol. Um, Something like Maya notices, I don't know, like a okay. If anyone has any questions about my fine tune as well, feel free to ask them because I'm kind of just I'll be doing this like kit bashing now, I think, for the rest of the session. I'll try and talk through, keep remembering I need to talk. Sparky, no, too late. Pudding. Oh wow, okay, I mean like slightly different. It's not from the ground. Oh yeah, because it's drop peanut butter sandwich, but thank you. Oh, you okay? Totally fine. No chaos at all. Yeah. Okay. Hey, it's mine. Bad doggy. Um, there's broke free of his lead and bounded towards a group of picnicking children. Is that how you spell it? Yeah, sure. If by Sparky you mean my husband, then yes. I wish it was a pupper entering my house and causing chaos. That would be amazing. I dedicated a book to him and he's still not got me a puppy. Sad face. Yeah, I mean I'm so to David, like that is on our list to do a kind of like a short form kind of video on how to fine tune and use the system. Um, I feel like I need to actually experiment with fine tuning other models as well, for kind of overall completion. But I could also do like but if you were interested, I could do a me making a fine tune model live if that's something people are interested in. I don't know. Um, Maybe like because I was considering doing like a chapter summary to beats kind of fine tune. I'm not entirely sure how that would go, but that was kind of something I was thinking. Oh, that might be possible because you could like feed it in like the steps and stuff. So I could try and do that live if that would be something that people are interested in. I get rid of that. Rushed over. Straining. Scooted with. Oh my god, so many messages all of a sudden. Fine-tuned demo people would want. What's the relevance of this scene? So this scene is being set just before the first death. The context is so motivation, why characters want Sebastian to be dead. Giving motive, and establishing that Sparky is a very good sniffer dog for Peanut specifically, which then comes into effect. So it's kind of like the overarching kind of narrative of this story, like the subplot is that there is the manor house being sold, and then the guy that is like the most likely purchaser suddenly dies. Okay, yeah, everyone wants fine-tune stuff. That's fine. I am happy to. We will arrange a fine-tune stream. Maybe wondering, would you prefer beat to prose, which would be a bit more complicated, or would you want like a rewrite? So like, you know, the click and make it Kate one. Victor, forgive me if I've been asked. Is there a way to show a basic count or indicator of how many tokens a request uses? I'm not entirely sure if there is anything in the novel writer functionality. However, I did yep, open AI. I believe if you go on activity, you can see how many tokens. So you can see that the most recent prompt that I did, it was only 2,000 tokens for Claude, but Gemini considered it 8,100. So actually it's kind of so OpenRouter does show these things, but because each model counts a token as different things, like it has a different criteria for what a token is. Like GPT is thought to be about a word. I think it's like 1,000 words is 750 tokens or something like that, or 1,000 tokens is 750 words. So what you can see for the same like input, Claude and Gemini have both got vastly different token counts, and that is kind of as an effect of just them considering tokens of different lengths. But you can see kind of roughly then what your input and output is. And that was a question to Victor. Callie. So yeah, so when I did my fine tune, I had a lot of pre-written stuff for like before I started writing with AI. However, I did note that my bad writing habits were then exacerbated in the fine tune. So like for example, I would often like I would say would go instead of went and stuff like that. So you've got to kind of yes, you've got to like kind of like work out those and fix your own bad mistakes in order to ensure it sounds good. So like the fine tune might sound like you, but it might not sound how you want it to. Oh, okay, so token. So each character is a token with Gemini, Space says. So that means basically like, even though it feels cheaper, it's actually more expensive than per word if you're using like bigger words and stuff. That feels conny. So yeah, if you go onto settings, you can also see your credits left. I think it's different in different countries. I think some people can like pay differently, but yeah, you can find out your total usage. Um, yeah, to color, yeah. Yeah, you need to clean up your text. Like I use Pro Writing Aid, but like after I made my first like kind of big fine tune, I was suddenly like, oh, okay, I can see these mistakes. And I was like, okay, right, well, I'm going to go through the fine tune document and kind of clean out those mistakes. And then I kind of, every time I find a new thing that I don't do or that I want to change, like there are some words that I still find that I use a lot and so then come up a lot in that. And so it's kind of like working out those things. And it's okay if like your first prompt isn't that good because you can just like edit it. Like it costs money, but it's not the end of the world. And you can kind of work on your own mistakes, and it will make you a better writer as well. Because by seeing your mistakes amplified in a fine-tuned model, you can be like, okay, I know what I'm going to do, and like how I can fix that in my writing. And so then when you're adding your own like Carly written prose, it will raise the bar as well. So it's like a lovely cycle of improvement. Okay. I was saying the puppet was merely following where the peanut butter sandwich went. The girl giggle then proceeded to shove the sandwich in her mouth, barely seeming to chew on. The Where did you put the text action in brackets? Oh, was this earlier when I was doing that? That was just like as a note to myself, like, so I need to write this like as prose. Like that's just kind of a note to Kate. See, at this point, I'm now kind of like, okay, well, no parents have been mentioned or relatives. This is the perfect time to have like either Gwendolyn or Lillian be their relative, be the relative of those children. So I'm gonna have a little look, see. So I've got my Rovers family. Minimize that. Gwendolyn's in her early 60s. Lillian doesn't say, but again, she looks older. So I'm gonna say these 60s grandchildren. Yeah, they'd be old. They'd be grandparents. I always have to think because, like, I know, like, my grandparents became grandparents like fairly young, but I think that's a generational thing. But yeah, 60s is fine for grandparents. Um. Uh. So then I will up to there. like you can see, I was saying, like when I do the kit bashing, I then go and kind of go back and edit my beats to make sure that everything is kind of as I want it to be. And like I've got new connections and like the flow, because it's like my job as the kind of the writer to ensure each AI generated prose chunk then flows on from one to the other. Um, Gwendolyn. So yeah, here I'm doing like a dialogue beat. Gwendolyn, girl. I just like. Okay, no more chat. That's yeah. So I've got like a little bit of like dialogue beat here. Um, let's see how these go. I mean, I get the feeling I'm going to I'm going to find my own fine tune the best, but it'd be interesting to see. Let me know as you guys read which ones you like. Oh, if Claude is working. Oh, that's really sweet. Like, there's some bits I need to change, but sweet. Oh, that is true. Although I think we did say that. Oh no, Sebastian is allergic because he comes up here, but we could have some. I don't know. I'm not going to bother with Gemini. I didn't like it. Um, mm, I'm going to retry that. Oh, I was wondering why it wasn't working there. Okay, I need to root. Also, what do they have on the clock? Okay. Highlight? How are you all finding fine-tuning? Have any of you made any fine-tunes that you're actually getting to work? Okay, so I would reword this. I'd probably make this so, like... Because he's living with Graham. But maybe Gwendolyn asks for Maya to spy on Sebastian. Corey, yes. It's the most recent fine-tune that we've done. I mean, a bit clunky, but I'm gonna go back and edit that, I think. Okay, this is good. I'm liking this conversation. It kind of fits. Okay, so then I'm gonna do as if summoned by the talking Sebastian. Ooh, okay. I like that. Right, let's see how this goes. I'm just gonna try my. Okay, well, so this is like a little bit summarizing, but I think this is because my beat is too long for like because my fine tune is trained on writing about 200 words, 250 words for about a 30. I don't know. It's lapping it up. Lapping it up. I don't know if it's maybe more of a British thing. Maybe it is a Kate. Maybe I've used it. So I'd have to check my fine tune. 1 minute. Let me. Nope. It is not in my fine tune at all. So no, that is not a that is not a Katism. Okay. Let's see how it does with the shorter beat. Like this is again, it's a thing based on the training. Like I've trained my fine tune to work with smallish beats, but like small beat lengths. Okay, it's not quite got what I mean, but that's probably like a thing that's in my ever since I turning back grandkids. But yeah, so it's interesting to see that because like yeah, my current average word beat like word it's like this is 40 words. That's a bit longer. But like um that's 60, but like my beats kind of were about 30 words. So maybe that's something that I need to change in my fine tuning. I need to make them more specific and kind of like give more detail. I'll give more detail in the fine tuned handwritten beats that I've done. About the codex, I'm still not sure how to start an entry for a particular book and for the series. I mean, I can. So, like, what do you mean? As in, so if you have a book, like, so say I've got River's Fire family, Maya. She is a protagonist. She's a part of the Puppy Cozy series. So you have this from the action menu. You've got this button of novel, so you can move to the novel or move to the series. And so if it's in the series, it shows in the series section. But if it's in the book, it doesn't because it's in the series. So you just go to all and then everything shows up. Yeah, so co-buster, like I was doing so when I did the little beats this one. Like this was a micro beat that I did to get this little bit of text to fill in a gap. Does anyone else have any questions? Because the last 10 minutes, I'm not gonna get to the end of this chapter, but I'll do another beat or two and well no, so even if your entries are in series, like you can still see them, they're just on a different tab. Like it just means they're available in multiple books. Like they still show in your book if your books are all in the same series. Mm, uh, show the protest escalating through dialogue of Archie and friends versus Sebastian. When Sebastian makes a snide comment about. Okay, let's see how that does. Oh my god. Okay, we're getting a fight, dudes, guys. This is a fight. Swearing. GPT is swearing. That is a cateism. I there is swearing in my fine tune. Um Oh, Sebastian has bodyguards now. Okay. Oh my god. Are Gwendolyn and Archie together? Maybe they are. Maybe Gwendolyn has kept her name and Archie. Oh, or maybe they're like, oh my god, maybe Archie and Gwendolyn later in life love. They like, you know, they've had their lives, their partners have died, and now they're kind of like having a flirtationship. I could get behind that. Yes. If an entry is in your series, it is automatically in one's book. Yup. Smiley face. Um. Okay, so like this would need editing. Like I will edit this. But you can kind of see. I mean, you can kind of see the power of a fine tune writing a fight. I don't know if it's gonna. Let's see. Let's. Okay, might quickly move to check on Alice. I'm gonna see if it continues. It might just now be like, oh no, yeah, what you've got is too violent. It's like, what you've got is too violent. We'll see. Yeah, I thought it would be. That's annoying. So it'll write it, but it won't. Let me see if just removing the swears. Ugh, fine. Okay. This is a prime example of GPT not wanting to obey. So at this point, I would. What I do? If I was to give advice to someone, I would take out the little bit of a fight, put a vague summary, stick it in a snippet, and then continue the scene, and then at the end of the scene, pop it back in. And then when I summarize the chapter, I would summarize it manually and just include a vague mention of a fight, but not what happened. And that might work. Let's see how much I'd have to. Let's see if just getting rid of this will allow. Okay, so see, getting rid of that fight. Oh yeah, it's changed. So that I think is I'm pretty sure that that is an artifact of my fine tune because in the text that I've written, one of the characters is mute and so communicates through sign language, or thoughts with a mind reader, and so those are italicized and plopped in single quotes. So I think that might be why that might just be like an artifact of that. Yeah, I mean it's yeah, you could use the exclude from AI option. I mean, I'm fully intending on sticking that bit back once I've finished the chapter. I'm just kind of just taking it out for now. Um, okay, well. Um, so she's not going to the pub, she's just going to a stall. off to find peanut butter sandwiches. He's already there with them, so he doesn't need to come over. Chatting. Okay, so yeah, I'd have to change the here because you can see there double, single. It's just decided that that's fine. It's not a biggie to fix. Okay, so that is the end of the hour. Does anyone have any questions before I head off for my dinner? I'm happy to answer anything you've got. I've just, for my memory, popped that back in. We'll see how it goes. Like, if I have to take it out, I'll take it out again. But does anyone have any questions about my workflow and what I've been doing so far today? Also, requests for the next live, feel free to plop them in, and yeah, once again, all the notes are in the Notion document that is live, and you can duplicate it if you need to. For those of you who are interested, activity 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So what, like less than 25 cents? Less than 25 cents for that. And let me check open AI. I won't do that on usage. I have used 9p or 9 cents, so less than 9p. 9 cents on GPT fine-tuned. Oh, you're very welcome. Guys, like, I enjoyed this. It's nice just to like just sit and write. But this is like, it takes me this long, but this is how I do it. Like I take different models, I mash them up, because different models are great for different genres as well. So like I wouldn't use Claude for like a thriller or anything that's like action, but for a cozy or a romance, it's perfect. So yeah. Okay, well, I hope you all had a great time, and I will see you next week, I think. I don't think I've got anything on. Yeah, I will see you next week on the 24th, where we might do something something either like fine-tune or editing, maybe. Like I could finish this chapter and then work on editing it with you. We'll have a think. For Jean-Luc, what do you mean by phrasing of the scene beat? Could you just give me, just so I know that we're on the same page? Oh, thank you, Space and David. I hope you all have good lunches, dinners, breakfasts, whatever it is that you're up to, and a fantastic day. Yeah. Bye.